All right, we had a false start, so hopefully this is working. I see some people joining. Okay, that was the first time, and maybe the last time I'm going to try and start the spaces from desktop because that failed miserably. I don't know if I've got some kind of weird 2-minute recording floating around in the ether now from that spaces I tried to do on desktop. Looks like we're going to stick with mobile phone for now. But looks like, yeah, some people are streaming in. We'll get started really quick. We're just waiting on Action just to jump in here with us. And he will be coming on in. There he is. Let's make you the co-host, brother. Always something. Always something. All right, you live, my man?
Hello, Corey. Nobody can hear you online, at least on the stream itself, because I didn't plug it in. So I am hunting down for that cable because I have a million of them on my desk. And as soon as I plug it in, everyone will hear you. Oh, Joe joined us.
Well,
what's up, Joe?
I can hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you, and everybody online should be able to hear you as well. So we're going to go mass browser. We're going to go over here. This is actually really cool. Online because people can actually see who's speaking at the same time. So I don't know. Y'all tell me, Derek, Robbie, everybody else watching on stream, if there's anybody else doing Twitter Spaces on YouTube as well as this. So let's get at it. How you doing, Corey?
Yeah, well, we had a false start, so this is probably the first, I was just saying before, the first and last time I will try and stream a Spaces on desktop because it didn't work very well. It showed up that it was working, it was live, but no one was joining, and I was just talking to myself for a while. So there's probably some weird alpha 5-minute snippet somewhere floating in the ether. Maybe there's some stuff in there if someone finds it.
I would love to hear that. I don't think it recorded because I tried going back to it and just the stream, the Spaces was not working. But it's working now. We got people here. We got people on YouTube. So we have definitely, eyeballs on what's going on. And I kicked this off by basically saying that people are not doing decentralized VPNs the right way. And I'm excited that, Mask is. Guys, this is Corey. If anybody's watching on stream, Corey is the lead for Mask browser. And yes, it's a decentralized VPN. It's a browser. It's everything you could imagine and hope for Web3. It almost cures cancer. Almost.
Well, I could say maybe one day it will unlock research needed in a part of the world where it's been restricted from uncensored access, right? That could be amazing.
That's a great way to put it. Yeah, I mean, so there's definitely an opportunity there. So it's I'm not lying. It could happen. It could happen.
Yeah, but no, thanks for doing the new stream thing. So this is new to me. It's unprompted. We really didn't, it's kind of spurred of the moment. So yeah, I'm live on YouTube as well. That's super cool. Going to go over some really cool updates, and I feel like we've done a lot in the first quarter. So we'll probably talk a little bit about that. But yeah, you said a good little intro about DVPNs and VPNs and how they're being done very interestingly now. Yeah, I mean, I think what you see now in the space is there's lots of different approaches, and some of them are maturing faster than others, or some of them are progressing faster than others. I guess, the market will speak to which ones will catch on the best, right? Because it's all about the users.
You're dead on, and I do foresee some of these networks doing really, really well short term. That's the problem. They're going to, everybody's so excited about this. They're earning X, Y, and Z with their new nodes and everything that they're doing. But then ultimately, will it, stand the test of time? That's really what it boils down to. Some people do it just for the hardware. Or don't get me wrong. And somebody that I talked a whole bunch about has been Deeper Network. I think I sent you a video about the things that are working, not working. And those guys, they went the hardware route, and that's all they do. It is a fun little piece of hardware. I have it. I use it. But it's not what everyone needs, right? There is a barrier to entry that really shouldn't be there. It's too high of a barrier for newbies to kind of come in and experience what they should be experiencing from the beginning. So that's what excites me about Mask. It's because it doesn't prevent anybody from trying it out, especially now that it's on testnet. I mean, people can literally go download and use a decentralized VPN for free. That's unheard of, right?
Yeah, yeah. And I think I guess we were kind of blessed in some ways by the way we originally tried to make the core software. So like for those who are new or just getting used to like what we've already produced and released now, the browser wasn't the beginning concept, right? The beginning concept, which is still alive and well and thriving and evolving, is the core networking protocol. And that's what's built underneath the browser. And really the whole design of that was to make it where people can adapt with it. They can build it on various types of devices. So it isn't, stuck on a piece of hardware. It can be built on different hardwares. So it could be a Mac, it could be a Linux, it could be a router that you've got some cool open source, OS inside the router. There's something called OpenWRT where you can make a custom router. People do it with Raspberry Pis. You can build Mask on Raspberry Pi. So it's really tried to be agnostic to the fact that it doesn't have to sit on one template. And that allows us to really have a lot more flexibility as things progress. If you look at the various laws and concepts of computing, of computers, of machine power, AI power, like it's going to quadruple every couple of years, the power. So you want to be able to be running on things long term, not just, hey, we might do really well for a year and then fizzle. Like that doesn't really help a lot of people who need this software, right? Or if something's released that is quite disruptive in the tech side, all of a sudden all of your tech stops working. You can't build sustainably like that. So we've been lucky with that. And what that means now is we exist for the technical people with that stuff, but we've made this easy to use browser, and it's slowly but surely getting better and better every time. We're opening that to just anyone who just all they want is to look at a browser and get the tech. Boom, couple clicks and you're in. So that's where we sort of blended the two sides, the technical side and the newbie side, to make sure our audience can be broad, but people can take advantage of all the tech. So awesome. That's my TED Talk. Thanks for coming.
All right, guys, this is it. We'll see you guys next. No, I'm totally kidding.
See ya.
No, so do me a favor. If you can sum it up in like less than 30 seconds, like what Mask browser is and what you guys are doing, because I do want to be able to have maybe a snippet that people can listen to and say, oh, okay, I get it.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, honestly, like if you were to sum it up the easiest way possible, it's sort of how we put our header out there on a lot of our stuff, like the website and everything. I mean, we're a privacy-based Web3 browser, multi-hop VPN, app store, and earning ecosystem. So it opens up the world of the internet to anyone and everyone because the tech is borderless. So you get all the benefits of VPN, which means you can privately browse through a secure encrypted fashion on the normal web. And then you get the benefits of Tor, which means you can hop through various places. So because it's decentralized and peers are routing through peers, the peers don't know who each other are. So you've got a level of anonymity. And also you can hop around the world to get to places that you maybe can't access. Obviously, the ultimate goal is to allow anyone from anywhere to navigate to the internet to anywhere else in the world. And there's big countries that are very restrictive and repressive, like China, like even Russia now. I think Twitter's still banned there. Various countries very oppressed and firewalled around with their internet. We want to break through that and give borderless browsing for everyone, but have that incentive based where the users are powering it. So it's not, a company that can open and shut and change rewards. Like we've built this in a decentralized way on as many layers as possible. So even if our, people in our team change, if someone who's a developer like decides to change to a different team and we get a new developer, like everything can still go. It's permissionless and it's got protections built in for users. So that's how we've done it. And we've got our flagship product sitting there open to use for free on testnet. And that's what we want people to do is try it out and build the network with us.
That was incredible. Just the fact that you said anonymity. I sound like I'm in what is it called? Nemo, Finding Nemo, saying anemone. Yeah, I mean that just took the cake for me. Now people are asking basically, is this a version of DuckDuckGo browser, a Web3 version of it?
Good question. So DuckDuckGo still has a set of centralized servers. And I think what we've done in Web3 and crypto is we've started saying that centralized is always bad, it's always evil. And I'm not taking the stance that anything starting with C, centralized, is bad, but you've got limitations or like central points of failure because of that, right? So if there was a bad actor within DuckDuckGo or DuckDuckGo got compromised because they're using a central set of servers, all that data that maybe is wiped every now and then, hopefully they have data retention policies that are super tight. They don't want to hold any data of their users, which should be by design for what they say they are, right? Little do we all know, maybe it isn't like that, because what did you see the other day, maybe, if you saw the news about Chrome? There's a court order for them to delete 1 billion user data points. 1 billion. Oh yeah, guys, we're going to delete them now because they're from, guess what? All the incognito mode browsing users. Wow.
Yeah,
now,
that's wild.
What the hell? Now, how do we even know that they're ever going to be deleted? How do we even know that there's a whole nother set saved somewhere, floating around in some floating data server on a warship somewhere in the middle of nowhere owned by Google? Who knows? But if you got centralized servers, there's going to be somewhere sitting there. Now, DuckDuckGo, they have a great service, and I think there's lots of good things about them. Where we're different is we don't have that centralized point. Number one, there's no tracking at all. And there's no snooping. There's no way. All the encrypted data is encrypted end to end. So you actually have no central party that handles the data all the time. And there's no central way to store any trace of it because the network is powered by peers. So unless you try to hack every single peer user running and look at all their data, match them up somehow in some amazing puzzle and figure it all out with the routes, it's almost impossible to even do that. So we're just taking that decentralized route completely on the stack. So that's how we're fundamentally different. So the browser itself can't track you, and the users who power it don't know who you are. So it's kind of as simple as that last sentence I said.
Now, I will say that Joe, that just was requesting to speak, I want to make sure I addressed it. He is my top footer when it comes to any new networks or anybody doing any kind of decentralized anything. He's my litmus test. Like, if you can send up to stuff that he asks and the questions that he's got for projects, you're
Sure.
right. You're pretty good. So I definitely want to hear from him and get him in the mix and kind of explain, why this thing actually works differently than some of the other networks out there. And a good mention, I think, would be Research. Research is a partner of Mask, right? The default search engine on Mask is Research, right?
Yeah, 100%. And if there's people that put their hand up, sorry if I didn't see it. I'm doing my usual pacing as Action knows. I'm not looking on the screen. But yeah, they're a pretty solid partner of ours. We've got a lot more we want to do with them this year. Actually, probably coming up this quarter too. But the fact that they are decentralized in the same sort of ways, the same ethos as us. There's no tracking of searching behavior, searching logs, none of that. If you do a search, you pretty much know it's privatized. It's not tracked by your IP. You're not getting censored results, for example. Now, again, we're in an election year. Everyone knows that this is a hot time where misinformation starts flying crazy. Like, if you were to search your favorite politician's name, if you used pre-search, chances are you're going to get a nice broad variety of results, not censored by your location, not censored by any cookies you've got in your browser that might be tracking behavior, fingerprinting, whatever. You're not going to get that. So in a sense, you're allowed to get a free, open, private search experience within a free, open, and private browser experience in Mask. And so it's like a match, easily made. And that's why we partner with them. So that's a big benefit of coming into our browser and our user base.
Corey, you're doing a good job, because Ryan just said that he's going to download Mask right now. So good job. It's working.
One user at a time. You convert one user into a fan and each fan into a super fan, and then you win.
Yeah. And the question's coming up, like, do you guys have a token? And they do have a token, but the token is not what some of these other networks kind of do. Like, we're going to hold on to the tokens, and as you serve, we're going to give them to you. So it's a little bit different, right, Corey?
Yeah, our utility token is almost as utility as you can get. Just a little brief history on that too, like in 1 or 2 minutes. And I promise I won't do a Putin on you and do like a 20-minute spiel of the life history of everything.
The history behind it's always important.
Now let me talk about now in the 1300s how there was a ruling family whose son got. No, I'm just kidding. Our token was fair launched in a sense. We had no ICO, no private backers, no angel investors, no big like whales that just bought it up to spread it out across retail dumping and all that. We are probably 94% circulating. The rest is in our treasury as originally publicized and documented all the way from day one. And so really the peer part of it is so important because that means there's a very fair distribution out there right now with real people, real wallets, real users, real testnet users as well. And the peers are powering the peers. So when mainnet turns on this year, people will be paying each other and earning from each other. And the reason that's important is you've heard this from many KOLs in the space, influencers or whatever you want to call them. A lot of them will say, look, if you're in a project early, look at the circulating, because if you're swimming in the tank and there's lots of whales, as they sell, the tank gets filled, and there's so much more out there that the value diminishes to people. Here, it's almost the reverse. If you're coming in now, most of it's out distributed by real users. And then when you're earning from peers. You're not earning from a reward pool that's sitting there like diluting everybody. It's actually from an organic network. And as the traffic grows, the user base grows, the network grows, that network effect is strong. That's going to be where there's so much value captured because the network is valuable. Using the network is valuable. So that token is key. We've got premium in the browser, and that's if you hold different levels of mask. We're just actually modifying some of how that will look for different features. So there's lots of price points if you want to look at it that way. We don't want to price anyone out from any level of coming in from new to old users. And if you hold different amounts, you'll be getting different features or enhancements in Mask. One of the big ones we're coming out with very soon in Q2 will be the node hop feature. And just to give you a real simple outline of what that is, you can change the hop count from 3, which is the default for Mask level privacy. And I'll just leave it. We can talk about that if we have time. But you can decrease your hop count to increase your speed. So essentially, you're hopping in less places around the world, getting a little less, anonymity from hopping and stuff. It's all encrypted still, but you can actually get faster speed because you're not having to traverse to so many places in the world. So you can even go down. We're going to experiment very soon before release, go down to even 1 hop, which might be just like a basic VPN hop, something like Sentinel, right? Where you are renting a VPN from a user who's encrypted, except ours is a little bit more encrypted and better anyway. But that would give you quite a good speed compared to 3 hops.
I'm just excited for you to be able to say, all right, 1 hop this time and do that live. That'd be really
where's
exciting.
The soundbite, man? Where's that soundbite from?
It's YouTube. You gotta be careful with what do you call it? Copyrighted music. That's the thing with YouTube. But yeah, like right. The beautiful thing about YouTube is that while you're talking about the node hopping, I was able to pull up Mask Browser and show where the node hop actually takes place and how this thing works.
You're demoing it. Wait, where can I view this? I've got a browser in front of me.
Oh, the sound is low. The browser. Just go look up Action Crypto. It should say live right now. There's a really fun clickbaity image there.
Are you smiling? Are you smiling, screaming, or grimacing? What's the feature now?
Oh, that's a good question. Which one did I do for this one? It was no. Oh, all right. So it's me with my hand over my face, basically going, "Oh my God, what's going on?" And
there he is.
Here's a text. You got to get this one. Decentralized VPNs are a scam, and it's in quotes because
I do scam.
Yeah.
Well, you got me to click, bro. The clickbait worked.
I love it. I love it. I mean, that's usually what I'm going for. I mean, that's the only way I can get Joe to watch my videos, right, Joe?
Oh, that's so good. That's so good. Well, it's funny. Now I see you delayed. Like I see your actions like delayed from me talking to you live. So I'll try not to like let it distract me too much. Um, yeah, but
Go back to walking. Go back to walking. You're better off walking.
I'm
Joe
gonna
left
pace.
the one time I said Joe something, he left. All right. Let's see if he comes
We
back.
left
He's
him
probably on
hanging
PC. He's
Yeah, we
probably on
left him
PC. I'm
hanging.
going to say it's PC. It's a PC issue.
Well, if we've
all
got
right.
time, we'll have him come in and talk to us. Yeah, for sure.
I'm gonna message him here. Hopefully it's a little bit louder and you guys can hear Corey a little bit better now. But Corey, I know that a lot of stuff has happened, right? So as far as Q1, what's been taking place as far as Mask is concerned? Because I mean, it's version 0.9 now, 0.91.
Yeah, we pushed out 0.91 last weekend with a few bug fixes, optimizations, and stuff that's really good from the community, which was great to hear. But the main things packed into that new features, the new release, was really important. The premium was lowered to 500, which we're going to then launch a lot more features for that. So for anyone who was like trying to get all the features straight out the gate, you don't have to hold 1,000. It was 1,000 since last year. It's dropped down to 500. So a lot more users can get all the premium stuff in there. But the main thing was open browsing is on. So the minute you jump into Mask browser, you don't have to immediately connect to the Mask network for privacy browsing. You can try it out like a normal browser first with all the extra privacy features of a privacy browser by default, like no tracking, blocking the ads. You can delete your history. You can close it, and all your history and cache is cleared. All that cool stuff, and then the cool UI, Spaces, desktop, Privacy OS, all those things we built in as the user experience. You can get all that straight away, and then you can just go to the new panel, which we've designed. That's all going to be looking like an extension, and the reason we built that is that's our concept to move into an extension space, a standalone Mask app type of implementation where maybe you don't want the browser, you just want to turn it on your computer. Well, like a lot of VPNs out there, you just have a small little software you install, you open it, little panel comes up, boom, boom, I want to connect, boom. These are things that are all conceptual in the browser. We'll take them out and make them their own software. So this is all part of that evolution as well. So you're seeing it in the browser first. Lastly, we have new wallets. So we had a lot of people saying they're sick of MetaMask. I'm a big vocal anti-Fox, although there's hint of an airdrop. So maybe we'll use it a little longer. But Phantom is working. Phantom's working well. That's nice. And that's an intro into Solana ecosystem and having those users join Mask. So Salama Gomez fans can join us,
That was a terrible dad joke.
Those meme coins, I tell you, man, every time I wake up, I look at like a few of those chats or the, what do you call it? The deck screener, and it shows the hot things that just comes up. And there's so many ridiculous names in there. I'm just like, when's it going to stop, guys?
All right. We are only allowed to show the ones I'm friends with. So what is it? It's Kulo. It's Big Red. That's AVAX. Who's on the other one? Oh, buddy of mine did 99 cents for Arizona XT. That's a fun one.
That was good. I liked that. And then you got those crazy ones like the cats are coming in now, right? Taylor Swift's cat, and now there's all these other cats coming in.
It's just a matter of time. I mean, it's narratives, right? Things come and go, and it's just a matter to see will any of them survive. I mean, none of them are going to go to zero. They might go to like point something, but I'm really curious who actually does something with all this money that's floating around, because people are making a lot of money, right?
I think it's going to bridge over to other chains now. You'll probably get it flowing into Base now and stuff, which it is.
All right, I'm going to try to get alpha out of you. So I know that MetaMask was the default for this, and then we moved over to Robbie.
Yes.
Now you said that there's Phantom. What about Frame or Send Wallet?
Yeah, Frame is still in there. Frame is like my go-to. That's my everyday, but obviously I'm a different user than most. Robbie threw us a curveball. They weren't really officially partnering with us like some other wallets we've been talking to. And then probably not purposely, but they did a big architectural change on their extension. And when we released our Mask browser, it broke compatibility. So There's a workaround, which I don't want to spread like officially, because if they patch things later, it's not going to stay up to their current release. So we've kind of just not decommissioned it yet, but it's not really working in our current version. So the good thing is we've got a few other partners already geared up, a few other ecosystems as well that want to join in. But you can use multiple wallets, and there'll probably be a new default coming through, which will be nice. And
default coming through. Okay. Which one is that?
Instead of MetaMask. Still not decided.
Okay.
Yeah. But it'll be nice. It'll be some stuff that people like to use, and they're trying. I still like Robbie. It's a shame that it's not compatible at the moment. Yeah. We're looking at that further. Hey, I saw there's a comment in here, Chantal NZ. Is that person a Kiwi as well? Are they a regular?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, that's my peoples right there.
Nice. Well, we've got a little crew. We got to make a mask Kiwi channel and have a little festive thing here once a year.
I know a lot of them. Let me tell you, like a lot of them, more than I'd like to admit at times.
Oh, so do you have? Well, you might need to hide your affinity to the Kiwis, right? Because you have maybe you have more Aussie friends than Kiwi friends, and they might get jealous.
No, they're fine. Yeah.
Just don't get them in a room when the rugby's on, mate. It might get a bit fierce.
No, very, very few, people from Australia, to be honest with you. Mostly, Kiwis are where it's at. I mean, they're just friendly. You guys talk to everybody. You get along with people. It's just weird. I mean, it's a different culture out there. I'll say that.
It's weird. I guess in the States, it's polarizing. Everything is so polarizing sometimes.
It's what sells. Right? I mean, it's very easy for me to get clicks on videos if I make people angry with my thumbnail.
That's right, man.
It's sad, but it's just how it works.
Yeah. Maybe one day we'll come up with a social fi thing that will fix that.
I sure hope so. I really hope so, because that would be huge. Yeah, I mean, we need it. It's toxic, right? Like it's the environments that we're in, and a lot of times, especially in crypto. I mean, it's very polarizing. Talk about politics. I mean, crypto is just as bad, because you have the inner fighting. Like, oh, my project's better than that project. You should take your liquidity and bring it over here. I'm like, guys, we're just starting out. Like, we should be focusing on getting the tech where it needs to be and getting the best possible tech out there. Go ahead and compete, because you're not really competing. You're just trying to build something cool, and hopefully we can all benefit from it. Like, that's the way I see all of these projects that are happening right now. Like, I try just about everything under the sun. And it's because, yes, I am curious, but B, I want to make sure that people understand that there's a need for innovation in this space. Like, we're nowhere near mass adoption. So for now, yeah, there's no competition. It's just a bunch of people trying to get it right.
Oh, I totally agree. I think we haven't, people say, is it a bubble? Is this and that? We've heard that for how many years? I mean, there's cycles, but I don't think we've had saturation point, right? Where there's so much going on that no new ideas will be fostered and do well, because we're still such a leading edge innovation area, and it's coupling with so many different other technological advances like AI, like creator economy, where you own everything that you make. There's no middlemen. All this type of stuff we'll see. It's bleeding into areas of society that probably the godfathers of it in Bitcoin days, they didn't think about that stuff, and it's evolving so quickly. It's super cool. And so there's not a dull day in crypto, that's for sure. And, you don't have all these overlords saying, oh, you can't build that. Like, in a way, I'm glad that that's happening to the likes of WorldCoin and stuff, where they're saying, hey, what are your data privacy practices, because you're harvesting biometrics from all these third world nations. Hey, tisk. Like, you could still make stuff in crypto, and there's no one saying you can't do it. It's still pretty permissionless, and that sort of fosters innovation in a lot of good ways too.
I mean, yeah, there's a lot easier ways to get biometric information. Just hack 23andMe, and then you have everybody's DNA. Get a little bit extra there.
Seriously, I'm so afraid.
Their stock went to zero.
Bro, I'm so afraid of those things. Like, some of my friends have done it, and I'm like, I just don't have the trust there to send my DNA somewhere, man, off site. It's just No, thanks.
Yeah, and that's the crazy thing, right? Like, name a company. I mean, they've had breaches, they've had things that weren't done the right way. So, like, the more that we can do on our end, the better, because we're the only ones that we control ultimately.
Yeah. And we've talked about it so many times. Like if you make this concept as fun as funner and as nice and pleasurable as you can, in something that's sort of like got a wide variety of people's views, where it's privacy, security. Those aren't sexy topics, but if you make them more interesting and fun, educational, but easy to use, nice to use, I think you'll get a lot of loyal users that stick around and enjoy the product. And that's kind of why it's taken some time to evolve some of our stuff, because there's so many different ways people look at that. It's not like a one size fits all. Like some people are super private and they will only do things like that have 3 layers of security, and some people don't care. Like some people just want to hop in and use something that's flashy and shiny and got cool animations. They'll give their credit card to anybody. I don't know. It's like,
Yeah, and I mean, coming up on this bull, we're going to see more and more of that. I mean, that's where what people are going to be doing. I mean, I remember when things were really hopping. It's like $3,000 for a minor. That's yeah, sure, we'll do that. 1,500 here, 500 there. Like money was going out like crazy, just because of those returns. It's like, yeah, we're going to get our money back, and some of them we did well, some of them not so much. But ultimately, like there is definitely money to be spent, and people were just going wild with it. Which is good in the sense that people are, injecting liquidity into the space, but bad because we got to make sure it's going to the right places.
Yeah. Well, here's the interesting thought too. It's almost like consumer psychology, right? You got something like Mask, which is testnet. We've been in testnet a while and it's free, right? And I think you also need to be mindful of like, how do you balance the cost factor? Because if you look at an audience and say, hey, I've got this really cool new thing and it costs $1,000. A lot of people will put a lot of value on something that appears expensive because they automatically think it's really, really good because it's expensive, right? And you put maybe the same product next to it and say, hey, this is free. Maybe people will say, well, it's free. Like, I wonder if it's that good, right? So it's almost like you got to find a way in the middle to say, okay, can everyone get involved? And it can't be free forever, or else that value isn't perceived. And I don't know if that's going to be a problem for Mask, but I've seen it in lots of other areas and innovative product spaces is where, you want to have a good balance of that, because people sometimes associate that value with a price tag,
I mean,
it's kind of interesting.
Personally, I think that Mask would have had some issues. If, how do I even say this in a nice way? If it was more difficult for people to share their bandwidth. I think what really sets it apart now is that it's a lot easier for anyone to basically click a button and share their bandwidth and contribute to the network. I think that's number one, because you're going to get moon boys in here, not going to lie, that are going to go, I want to be able to share bandwidth as much as possible and try to reap all of these Mask tokens.
Right.
But you can't just have that. You need people to use it. And the fact that the browser itself works well and people can both use and serve, that changes the game. That makes it so that people aren't going out of their way to try to serve, right? They're not trying to set up nodes, trying to set up things that they might not even be used to, just because they're looking for those quick turnaround, those quick gains. Like people are actually participating, and that makes a huge difference. I mean, if Mask didn't have that feature where you can literally click serve and allow people to serve, that would definitely be an issue. But I don't think it is, just because of how it's structured right now.
Yeah, it's taken a lot. I mean, to be open about how challenging it is to achieve that. It's why we've had to iterate so many times on the connection stuff and make it stay so easy to use that hopefully it's only a few clicks, but still have all the technical stuff and the gears turning in the background work properly for the broadest audience. And I think for me as a project lead, we've spent so many late nights and hours troubleshooting and stuff like that, because the real issue is that so many people in the world have so many different network setups, so many different routers, so many different ISPs. It's really hard to make a one size fits all without some technical stuff. So we've been trying so many times just to get that balance right, to strike it again and again. We're going to nail it, no doubt. I've already got another release I want to push out, even though it's quite quick. We've done one last weekend. but we've already done a bunch of testing to improve it even more for users to get this serving down. So we want the maximum number of users to be able to serve with the minimal amount of work. And it sounds easy, but it actually is very hard with the technical software with lots of variables. So we're going to get it. We're going to get it. And of course, the technical crowd, they'll be able to follow guides and walkthroughs. Like they'll find a way. And there's lots of people who are ready. We want to get that mainstream crowd into the game and into the fun as well.
Now, the biggest FUD around decentralized VPNs of any sort is really the content that's going through your network, right? I'm in the US. I can't allow torrenting to go through my network. Otherwise, I get a letter from my ISP. How does Mask handle that?
That's awesome that you brought that up, because that is a big risk factor and protection factor that someone wants to know and be aware of when they choose to serve, because you are serving your bandwidth from your local internet connection, your ISP. They'll be able to see roughly like data. They won't see inside the data, but they'll be able to see, oh, this traffic's going to this IP address and this one's going to this site. They'll see the first hop. They don't know where it's going. So it's pretty harmless at that point, but they can still kind of detect some kind of patterns at the moment, just like other VPNs or torrents, things like that. So peer-to-peer, that protocol isn't on in the sense of the actual technical side. Mask doesn't do peer-to-peer. Like it's actually a protocol that's different from what we use, which is TCP. That's basically 70% of what the traffic is online, going to websites, going to browsing, various platforms, whatever, on your browser. It's all TCP type data. And that's what Mask lives in, so we're hiding in plain sight, right? But if you don't want things that are, more risky or whatever to be used across your node, we've made that a setup of one click, where you can click on what we call your DNS services, your content filtering is what we call it, content filtering. And you can say, I only want family-friendly content to go through my Mask node. And that will use a service, for example, Cloudflare Family 1.1.1.3. That's a very enterprise level, well-known service that will automatically not serve content that's requested for stuff that's known malware, stuff that might be X-rated, stuff that might be malicious content, or torrents, I believe, too, might be blocked on that by default. So he's already chosen that on the screen. I'm seeing your console there. So it's 2 clicks away. One click.
I went
filtering.
hunting for it. I just want to make sure that I could find it without any guidance. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But good feedback too. We're going to make a little overlay window that when you first start Mask, it'll walk you through and say, hey, here's what you want to do with this. Click this. We've had a lot of users say, hey, I'm new and I was like a little overwhelmed with what I saw from it being a normal browser. This screen's being evolved out. So what you'll see is just on the right eventually. It looks like a little window, little extension pop up, that square. That's what you'll end up with. And that can live on your desktop screen while you're browsing, just like MetaMask pops up over your website that you're browsing. This will pop up and you can change it on the fly. So you can change content. It might make you reconnect to the network just because it's going to reestablish your services. But you can choose that, and no technical settings in your router, no having to write down addresses and figure them out. You could put a custom one in there if you want. Some people use their own.
All right.
Yeah.
Here's a quick question. Can Mask serve like torrents, like having multiple connections at the same time? So having multiple people, bouncing off of your node?
Yes, in a different way to torrents, because I think what you mean by torrents is you're seeding, you might be seeding content to multiple users or getting it from multiple users, but in the same sense of connections. That's why this really is a mesh network. It's not like a VPN point-to-point. Mask does operate like that, where you're in a mesh. So you might have, for example, 4 neighbors around you, which are directly connected to you. When you send traffic to and from other peers, they're going to go through one of those 4 hops, one of those 4 neighbors near you, and first hop there. And then there might be 30 to 40 other nodes around you in your neighborhood that is hopping through to the end person who wanted your content. So you're using multiple neighbors in the mesh. At the same time, you might route traffic and not be the exit node who's serving it from the server at the same time as serving someone content. So you might have maybe 10 or 20 asynchronous streams going through you where lots of users are using you. And if you're in a desirable place like the US or UK or wherever there's people that like to browse there, chances are you'll get a lot of traffic because lots of people are browsing for that kind of content. So we'll find that the market dynamics of the network will kind of react that way where, you might be somewhere down here, a little hobbit town, right? Like not a lot of people are going to want New Zealand-based websites. So you might not end up
New Zealand has websites?
Well, they're like made out of sticks and rocks and stuff, but they look pretty good in HD.
Oh, that's awesome. So something I didn't tell anybody, the first person to tell me they downloaded Mask, I was going to make sure that they had enough Mask in there to use the premium features. And Ryan just said that he downloaded Mask. So
yeah,
Ryan,
he says he's got to buy some. Don't make him buy any.
Yeah, I just said I got you covered, Ryan. So Ryan, I'm going to send you a DM because I got all your contact info, and I'll make sure to set you up with some masks so you can experience the premium features as well.
Yeah, so we got some cool stuff coming. Before we get too late in the town hall, Q2 is going to be pretty big. We've got the first phase of our marketing sort of content initiatives coming out. I'm going to launch some pretty big news about an ecosystem. I guess you call it a fund, an ecosystem grant thing where we're going to be incentivizing a lot of stuff in the ecosystem as well as retroactively. So I'm going to say retroactively, meaning people who've helped us grow in the past. We want to do something for you guys too. So that's in the works now. Just for visibility, Polygon Mumbai is being deprecated. So and what that means is they're basically stopping. So we are under the pump now, making the migration moves. So hopefully very soon the next version, which does have to be soon because of that, there will be a seamless transition for users. If we nail all this right, which I think we are, we're ahead of the deadline that we had internally. You won't need to do anything if you need to migrate with tokens. It'll all be done with the faucet. We've got it all sorted, but it'll just mean that you might need to add a new network in your test wallet to show the new test stuff because Mumbai is going away. So that's been like the main focus for the last sort of 4 days, but that'll be done and it's going to be done ahead of the deadline. So that's really good. But why I'm mentioning that's more of a technical thing. Why I'm mentioning that is that's given us the space and sort of like the stop moment, the pause moment, to look at other chains test nets that are very similar. When I say other chains, I mean other L2s that are kind of parallel to Polygon in the EVM space, other ones that we sort of looked at growing over the last few years and haven't done anything with them. Remember, we're chain agnostic, more or less, so we can deploy on various chains. And that means various ecosystem and communities might be able to use Mask if we support it. So we're really doing some cool testing with that. And so, could be cool to look at the home bases out there.
Well, I'll tell you what, the reason why that's a really big deal, these people are giving out grants like crazy. And if you can leverage different L2s to build, to further build Mask, that would be incredible. Yeah, I mean, I got somebody in mind that has been, dishing out tokens like crazy. That's an L2 for ETH. There's a lot of opportunity out there. A lot of opportunity.
Yep, it's huge, and we've got context kind of getting deep into some of them, and we want to balance that to show like, hey, we can serve multiple chains. It's not cross-chain yet. That's a real big undertaking that might be in the future. But you talk to so many, Ethereum maxis and people that are so deeply into that whole, Ethereum EVM infrastructure side. All of them will say the future is multi-chain. I don't think there's many people left that are like one chain rules all type of shit anymore.
Oh, there's a Bitcoin conference. You can meet a lot of those people.
Oh, the Bitcoin maxis for sure, but they're also anti-smart contracts. So they're like everything ordinals is spam on the network, and they'll They'll be burning Taproot Wizards at the stake.
That's okay. They can keep doing that. I'm going to earn my high rewards by having inscriptions on there.
It's almost like they're cutting off their nose to spite their face, right? Because don't they understand that fees will drive mining? Like, throughput will drive sustainability. It's just it's an interesting stance to take.
It is backwards. I agree. But again, I mean, they're not called maxis for nothing, So they got to do something that's polarizing, and that's the new thing right now that they're the tree they're barking up. I don't know how long they can do that for, because I mean, we need utility for the Bitcoin network long term. We need ways to generate fees if we're going to make sure this thing outlasts the distribution. So it's all good. But that's a really cool thing that you're looking at different L2s, Corey, because that, like I said, I'm looking over here like, wait, you can get a grant for I don't even want to say the L2s that I'm thinking about right now. But that's a big deal. That's a really big deal.
Well, and it's so much more attractive for mainnet because you look at the fee comparisons. Now, just for anyone who is technical, like the only other techie stuff I'll talk about is that Polygon, they didn't inherit that recent upgrade. I think it was Dencun or whatever, where the fees were like 1/10 or even less on the L2 rollups, like, Optimism, Arbitrum, Base. They're all like so much more gas efficient. It's crazy. It's almost like you can't build a dApp on ETH now. You have to do it L2, which is kind of good in some ways. It's offloading that network congestion onto a chain that, design that can handle it. But, that's where the users are going to be too. You can't just keep building something and hope that the users will come back over the bridge that's really high and steep and costs lots of energy to go through. You can't expect them to come back that way if they're already living somewhere else, So we've got to think about that too. But again, thankfully for the original designs we've had, it's been agnostic early on. So we aren't like governed by any one chain. And that's good too, because if something bad was to happen, not that it would, to a chain, you're not just shit out of luck. You can you got the agility to go somewhere and deploy where you need to go. So we're really spending this time now while we're doing the work to also make it easier for the future to say, you know what, we've had great support, great development, business contacts, whatever here. The community's really bumping. We're going to now look at this chain, and it's going to be easy for us to do because we're, going through some of the motions now.
Yeah,
very cool.
That's really important. I mean, long term. I mean, you only care about that if you're not looking to rug and if you're looking to do this thing long term, right? Which is where I see Mask going. You guys have been building for a while. Like anybody that's been through at least one, bear cycle, and through one cycle, at least one bear, at least probably two, understands that you don't build for the bull. You build, you build for all seasons when things are good and when things are bad. Otherwise, you basically sizzle and you just fizzle out. There's no way for you to have that sustainable growth while things are going down. If prices are going down, nobody's going to be interested in buying a new token or checking something out. But if you're focusing on a tech and making sure that things are working well, it doesn't matter what the token price is, especially in the decentralized manner that Mask is distributed. Token price, so what? It's a matter of load balancing the network by having more people share and have people utilize it as well, because utilization is also important. And cool. All right, Ryan got the tokens, and I did have something else come through the stream here. I had somebody complaining that they weren't able to connect with Mask previously. They downloaded and wasn't connecting, but they connected tonight. Did you fix something?
We fixed a lot of stuff. I do try and keep the change logs a little more, easy to read. Well, we did, because I do write those up. But on Canny, you can have a look, and then it's we've done some technical stuff. There's more coming too. Basically, we want to just make it so you don't see failures. If you happen to see a failure, you'll see a message that says, "Here's what happened," and so you can fix it. Before it wasn't that great, so now that's a big change for us. Good, in a good way. Yeah, and then one last thing before I forget is on the Q2 horizon, which could be really soon rather than at the end of Q2, to use the Mask browser as an everyday browser. There are some elements that are still missing. We're not being oblivious to that, right? One of them is a password manager. And I think everyone who's, you know, doing their digital life, you're going to have a password manager now. You have passwords for everything. You want to make sure it's good. So we've had people ask, are you going to build one for Mask? Are you going to make one? This and that. I'm like, I don't want us to not waste, but drain time, resources, developer time, whatever, on our own. Let's go with the leading enterprise solution that's available for free for everyone, or for your paid ones or whatever. So we've got a couple partners in mind. One of them will feature in Mask very soon. So that's one more reason why you can live in Mask every day, use the browser, and have it as part of your daily life. And if we can achieve that more and more, the users will grow, everyone grows. And it's good.
Yeah,
so that's what we're on there. Yeah.
No, it's awesome. And I did have those issues early on where I was like, oh, I can't connect. Let me try again. Let me try again. So it's gotten a lot better, and it's exciting to see that there is more partnerships and there are more things actually coming. We need it, right? Overall in the space, there's not enough things built for Web3 yet, and making sure that people can have an ecosystem that's really cool. Yeah, I like that a lot. Something that you didn't mention that I really like about Mask is the fact that you guys have a little hub where people can get stuff.
Oh yeah.
I'm trying to get it open on the dashboard thing here, but you have apps that are almost native to a certain extent. Through these partnerships, you have a dApp store, and within the dApp store, people can find things that they might be looking for pretty easily, right?
Yeah, we're going to curate that more and more as we grow. We still get a huge amount of projects that ask, hey, can we feature in there and this and that? And some of them are amazing. We're just like, they fit right in with, the ecosystem, with what users want. So that's where a lot of our partners will feature first and foremost, but also common places people go. And the way we've designed it, just so for those who are conscious of these things, which is important, because we're a privacy security based solution, really, is that whole dApp store is powered by an open source repo as well. So if you were to verify, are these real links for these sites? You can actually go online and look and say, okay, is this the real QuickSwap site? Okay, it looks like it is. Great.
Very cool.
You can verify it. Where a lot of places, you might click on the wrong thing. It's a phishing link. You're screwed. You get hacked. You lose your shit. And you got a bad taste in your mouth. If you're a new user, you're like, to hell with crypto this cycle. I'll come back. And, you don't want that. We don't want people to have that.
Nobody's lost as much as I have, so it's okay. I'll tell you guys, don't leave. Stick around. Just make good decisions, okay? Just make good decisions.
Hey, you know what? It's funny how all things come back around. I'm seeing a nice little wormhole airdrop, which is like a 5% of what I lost in the Luna explosion. That's not too bad,
5%, really?
Yeah, maybe less. I don't know. It hurts to see, but I would have been a lot worse off if I didn't act quickly. But yeah, it's funny. You stay long enough, sometimes you get paid a little bit back from all of your mountains of losses, and the scar tissue heals, right?
Yeah, that's true. I mean, anybody got money on BlockFi? They're giving people money back. Not all of it, but a chunk of it. So you can actually withdraw now.
Celsius did payouts too. I happen to be in there too, which was nice. Not sure if I'm going to touch that Ionic crap because you got a KYC again. But we'll see.
that's the issue is KYC right now. But hang on a second. Are you secretly providing exit liquidity for everybody, Corey? What else have you provided exit liquidity for?
Man, we need another half hour to go over the list, I think.
Man, yeah, it's rough. It's really rough. I mean, with the things we go through, it's kind of sad, but it's encouraging that there's people out there that care enough to do things the right way. I mean, one of the big reasons why I still do YouTube and I'm still around is because I want to make sure people are safe. People are, essentially taking care of themselves. Like I do giveaways whenever I can, just to try to instill the mindset of, hey, this is crypto. You got to make sure you're trusting the right wallets. You're trusting the right websites. You got to make sure you're verifying everything that you do. And I mean, ultimately, that's my goal, right? Is making sure that this space is better. Before is better now than when I first found it, which was a long time ago. It was pretty bad. But lots of illicit activities when I first got into crypto. Joe is back. I'm wondering if he's going to be able to provide us with some FUD before we close out.
Yeah, I do need to run to get the kids soon, but I might have a little 5-10 minute window of FUD refuting if we need to.
if he's up for it, you know what I mean? Like that's the whole thing. You might have intimidated him.
Oh, that's okay. I was needing to run it right on the hour or pretty close to the hour, but um, what you said there actually that was a thought. Saying how in the space before there was so much illicit stuff, it was hard to verify things. We're really trying to build that aspect too into Mask. It's worth saying, and we can end on this too. It's like, why do you have to go to so many places just to make sure you're doing something that you can trust, right? If we can't get past that hurdle, crypto will fail on the user adoption level because it can't operate on normal stuff like simply sending money to a friend or going to a website and not get hacked or be able to save your wallet safely, not have to worry about, storing words somewhere and someone steals them, all that type of stuff. We've got to solve that. And so I feel like we are centered in a good spot to do that through our ecosystem, through the browser, where you can see lots of layers of trust that you can verify yourself in one place. A place where, you can click on a link and it's okay. Wallets you can choose where you're familiar, whatever. So hopefully my audio is still working. I got a few comments in your thing saying the audio went off.
I know. Yeah, I refreshed it. It's you gotta love Twitter sometimes.
I know, man. Well, maybe they'll fix that too. But no, there's lots of cool stuff that we're putting in. Q2 is going to be really hot, better than Q1 for sure. Lots of cool things in the works. And again, I gotta end with the whole request to the crowd and anyone listening. Please jump in and try the Mask browser. It's constantly getting better. Yes, we've got things we still want to improve. So all good feedback is good feedback, and all bad feedback is good. Not bad, but like constructive feedback is good. The brand new website's up, so you can also look at like that whole new feel of hopping in, looking at this user experience, which is friendly, not shadowy, mysterious. Hey, I'm going to be lurking in the shadows. It's like, well, you can use it anywhere, of traveling, whatever you want to do on Mask, it's there. And so, I want people to give us feedback on that, and then try it out. It's still free in testnet. If everything goes well, you won't even realize you're on testnet Amoy on Polygon in another week or two, not having to do anything. And for me, that's a big achievement that we can achieve as the dev team, to make that seamless. So I'm sure that will go really well, and we'll let everyone know how that goes. Here's a new website.
It's a bigger undertaking than I think most people realize. So I appreciate you all doing that on the background, because I know I don't want to be dealing with it on the front end of things. So yeah,
it crept up real quick, man. I was like, oh gosh, April 13th. That's a great day.
And all right, so if you guys are wondering, maskbrowser.com is the URL that y'all got to go to check this thing out. Somebody was asking me about tokens. There is a download on the left side here, but on the right side, there is a get Mask tokens. There is both Uniswap and a QuickSwap. Go to QuickSwap. Don't waste your ETH for transactions on Uniswap. It's not worth it. But that's how you get it.
Yeah.
There's a ton of stuff here. If you guys are wondering, one of my favorite pieces of the website is the comparison portion of it, and I'm going to keep scrolling until I get there.
Show that off. We got some browser names in there.
Like all these different things. Let me throw myself on the right real quick so people can read these things. And Brave does a lot of them, and then it doesn't. So between country switching mode, the 6-hop routing that doesn't exist. You got these little bubbles that kind of give you more instructions and description. I'm a little disappointed where it says history destruction mode. You should have said that they still have your data from incognito on this one. Just saying, you could have totally said that.
We probably could have put some more hate in the descriptions, right? I think I might have got. I know we don't believe in censorship, but maybe some of my descriptions were censored before they made it to the published live version.
Yeah, it's the team going, Corey, you can't say that publicly. That's not very nice.
Yeah, bro, you don't want to get us in trouble, man. We can't say that. Yeah. So we gave Brave a few green ticks. They're doing some good things in the space. But we have some edges on all of them.
Yeah. So somebody said, let me see. Most browsers have incognito mode that doesn't store history, but no privacy by default mode. Like history destruction that lets you decide the limit of history items for everyday browsing. So that's what it is, History Bear. If you're wondering how history destruction mode is different on Mask. So they take it a step above, or even the stuff that you browse every single day, you can set limits on how long it's even going to be there. So
yeah, that's right. I think where someone said you can turn that on Brave. That's good. Yeah. That's cool. They finally put that. I think people were asking for that. But yeah, on ours, if you set it to 0, none of your history will be saved at all, which is pretty cool. So, you can basically open and close Mask and nothing's retained if you don't want it to be retained. But then you've got your browser bookmarks. You can load bookmarks in there. One cool thing, this is one last thing I'll share. I had a close friend and community member as well pitch an idea, which I didn't even think of. How many times, maybe you can comment on this, how many times have you wanted to share a set of bookmarks to another user? Have you ever wanted to do that? Like, hey, I'm searching for, let's plan a trip together, and you want a set of bookmarks, like 5 sites. And you don't want to copy and paste all the links. You just want to share a list.
I was about to say that. Like, yeah, I do that, but it's usually just a list of like a copy and pasting, putting in Telegram or something.
Right? Wouldn't it be cool if you could privately, but also in a way that it's encrypted, so you know it's not phishing sites, but a friend, who it is, essentially, can verifiably send you a little bookmark list and say, hey man, check out these 5 sites I've been planning for our guys weekend. And share it to someone through IPFS, all open but encrypted for just that person. And then boom, open it in Mask. You got your 5 tabs, open up, boom. Cool, thanks for that. I mean, that's a feature that doesn't exist in any browser that I'm aware of. That'd be super cool, man. So we're going to add stuff like that,
I need to get you in contact with another company that's doing something similar, but it's not actual bookmarks, but something similar to that. There's a definite partnership opportunity here.
Cool. Let's do it, man. I'm keen. I mean, if they're sort of Web3 sort of based, or they're sort of in that whole realm where they're,
privacy first.
Yeah, privacy first.
100% has to be.
Yep. That's awesome. Yeah, man, let's do it. Because, again, I've always said, if someone's built it really, really well and done it, I'd rather not have to reinvent the wheel. Let's partner with the good guys and girls and make it happen. But man, this has been good to talk about it.
No, it's been phenomenal. Yeah, I appreciate you being willing for me to actually stream this out and put you on the spot for all the thousands of people that are listening.
Yeah, thousands, and all the thousands that are going to listen to the recording too, man. You got that great thumbnail going. You're going to get a lot of clicks.
Yeah, people are going to follow up on this. Like, what is this? What is this guy saying? Like, what? I'm probably going to get some shorts out of this one and probably redo it so people listen in.
Yeah, man. But no, always a pleasure. Thanks for dealing with the restart of the link as well. We had a bit of I've learned my lesson. I'm not going to try and stream an X Spaces from my desktop. It's going to be phone till Elon sorts the stuff out. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the problems that you think you're still in there and you're not half at a time. That's the biggest problem with it all. Because it just you think it rugs you, right? And
seriously,
you're like, I'm talking to a bunch of people. And it's like, no, you're not talking to anybody.
Yeah, the signals were there, and I didn't pick up. The fact that there was no other avatars sitting in the space, so I was by myself. No one was replying, no emojis, nothing. I'm like, yeah, this isn't working. 5 minutes in, I'm by myself. It's like that Pablo Escobar where you're standing in the empty pool. You're like, where's everybody? And
on the swing.
Yeah, it was just me.
Awesome, Corey. Well, I appreciate the time. Guys, go check out maskbrowser.com to see what this thing's all about for real. It's live, it's happening. You guys can actually check it out. And, testnet is live public testnet, which means that you can browse for free. Take advantage of this opportunity. I don't know anybody else that's doing this sort of thing. And we need users, right? Ultimately, we need users to jump on this network to both browse and share their bandwidth so it can, stress test it. I mean, that's what it's all about. That's what a testnet is all about. It's making sure that the systems are working, they're functioning, and it gets you ready for when, mainnet launches. You can be the first ones in line. Are there going to be airdrops or anything like that for testnet people?
Well, that ties back to that retroactive thing I'm drafting up now. We do want to reward people who are testing with us, who have been testing with us. So it's not too late. We haven't done any formal stuff with, shortlisting or whatever. There are definitely people we want to say thanks to in a meaningful way. So yeah, so hey, never a better time to jump in, try it out, get your, get your wallet with that automatic faucet for the test token on the chain, make sure you get on there. And yeah, we'd love to have you as well, but just to help us grow. So yeah, that's all going to happen this quarter, and some things a lot sooner than later. So yeah,
Beautiful
good stuff.
That's really exciting, Corey. I appreciate it once again. And we'll be back next week, same time, same channel on Spaces. I don't know if I'm going to do another stream. Actually, I'll listen back to this one and see how well it went, because again, you guys are, my test subjects right now to see if this thing rolls smoothly enough. The faucet for testnet, I'm going to go over a bunch of stuff. I'm not going to end it here, by the way, Corey. So you're good to go. I'm going to keep going and make sure that everybody knows exactly what we're talking about. We're going to do a little show and tell and have a good time on YouTube's.
Awesome. No, I loved it, man. Thank you for, doing that stream. It's super cool. And actually it was cool to put something up on screen while we're talking, just to see people live, on the live comments and you showing the demo. So, hey, everyone enjoy. You get that right at your fingertips if you hop on to maskbrowser.com and download it. And we'll talk to you next week, man. Thanks again.
All right. My pleasure. You have a great one.
See you guys. Bye.